Out of breaking news, a car crashes into President Biden's motorcade in Wilmington, Delaware.
Yeah, we know it happened as the president was leaving his campaign headquarters. Take a look.
Mr. President, why are you losing to Trump in the polls?
Well, you see it there. President Biden was quickly ushered into that beast SUV. SWAT officers were on scene and police were seen talking to the driver. He was inside his car with his hands up. It's unclear what caused that crash and whether it was an accident or intentional. But as you can see, it was raining at that time. The streets were soaked. This is a breaking story. Once we get more information, we will update you.
That, my friends, was perhaps the single most apt symbol of the crashing Biden campaign. And it's only going to get worse. Wait until you see the data that's coming in. This guy is in an absolute political freefall. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. If you've already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, many of you know that we have just been, unfortunately, completely demonetized. So let's make sure to show some love to our awesome sponsor, Liver Health Formula. Our livers are our body's master detoxifier, but after decades of wear and tear, our livers slow down, they become sluggish. This is why so many of us struggle with weight gain and feeling tired all the time. But gang, fortunately, there is a simple, all-natural solution. Liver Health Formula contains 12 powerful botanicals clinically proven to recharge and protect your liver. It helps restore your liver's detoxifying abilities. It boosts your energy levels, and it works remarkably well to fight that horrible fatty liver so many of us wrestle with. Liver Health Formula is backed by proven science and approved by American doctors. And the best part, gang, every single bottle is manufactured right here in the USA. Click on that link below right now. Try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free. Order today, and you'll get a free bottle of blood sugar formula, but that's only for a limited time. So don't wait. Click on that link below or go to getliverhelp.com/Turley right now. So you heard the reporter, right? Mr. President, why are you losing in the polls? And his pathetic attempt at a response was, you're reading the wrong polls. And then, bang, a car crashes into their motorcade. I mean, you could not have scripted that better. The symbolism was perfect, and that's because Biden's poll numbers are crashing. And there are no other polls. That's the only thing polls are showing. Here's Reince Priebus, Trump's former chief of staff, on ABC's This Week, talking about just how bad things are for bumbling Biden.
I think you're all misreading the electorate. I think that the electorate is not looking for less blood. I think they're looking for more blood. I think that people are more angry about crime than they've ever been before. I think they're more angry about the border, the fentanyl, the sanctuary cities, the boys competing against girls in sports, schools out of control. I think, as I've said before, people are looking for a bigger middle finger this time than they were in 2016. And I think
So no matter how
outrageous, you're misreading this. People are angry. And on the other side, you know, you got President Biden, who's losing young voters, who's losing black voters. The polling couldn't be worse. And unlike Barack Obama in 2011, Democrats would have walked over glass for Barack Obama. Democrats today, they say 75%, we wish we had a different candidate. So it matters who you're running against, too. And it also matters what the state of the country's in. And this is a perfect storm.
It's a perfect storm. That was a brilliant observation on the part of Priebus. And again, all the data is bearing this out. Take a look at the RCP average, the Real Clear Politics polling average, which aggregates all the various polls out there. It's today showing President Trump with his largest lead ever, gang. The RCP average has Trump leading Biden by nearly 4 points. And when Bobby Kennedy and other third-party candidates are included, that lead jumps to over 5 points. And it's not just the national average. The battleground state averages are just as devastating for bumbling Biden. Trump either leads or is tied in every single battleground state. In Georgia, Trump's up by 5. In Arizona, he's up by 5. In Michigan, he's up by 5. In Nevada, he's up by 4. This is way beyond the margin of fraud. In Pennsylvania, he's up by 1. And in Wisconsin, they're tied, which suggests that Trump is actually going to crush Biden in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is notoriously a hard state to poll. If you recall, one polling outlet had Biden up by 17 in Wisconsin in 2020. He went on to, quote, win by barely 20,000 votes. So if they're tied, it's likely that Trump is way ahead. Now, again, it bears repeating. Trump never led the RCP average in 2020. And that's because he never led in a single poll in 2020. He never even came close to tying Biden in 2020. The Real Clear Politics polling average gave Biden a +7 advantage the day before election. That's because he got polls like YouGov that were giving Biden a +10 advantage. CNBC as well gave Biden a +10 advantage. In 2016, the RCP aggregate gave Hillary a +3 advantage. Trump has never, ever led in the RCP average. And now what we're seeing is that these same polls with the same methodology, right? Same weighting, same sample size. These polls are now showing a Trump blowout. This is what makes Biden's response to that reporter so pathetic. There are no polls out there showing Biden with the lead anywhere near as comparable as Trump's lead over Biden. It's not like we're seeing one poll today that shows Trump up by 3, and then tomorrow we get another poll that shows Biden leading by 3, right? The polls aren't going back and forth. The polls, literally all the polls, are showing the exact same thing. Trump is crushing Biden at the national level, and he's crushing Biden in the battleground swing states. Here's a perfect example of how Biden is crashing. The latest Fox News poll, which remember is notoriously liberal. For whatever reason, Fox polls always tend to favor Biden. But look at this. Among independents, according to Fox, Biden had a 22-point lead over Trump back in October of 2020. Now, Trump has a 12-point lead as of December this year. Make sure you get that. That's a 34-point swing over to Trump since October of 2020. 34-point swing. And it's not just independents. I told you last week about 2 new studies that show that virtually every single Democrat constituency is defecting over to Trump. These are 2 studies, one by Adam Carlson at the Split Ticket Data Analytics site, and that compares how Democrats are performing today in comparison to how they performed in 2020. And then there's a second study by Democracy Corps, which focus more on battleground states, but they both show the exact same thing. They both corroborate each other. Biden is losing support among every single traditional Democrat constituency. You name it. Blacks, Hispanics, Asians, LGBT, Gen Z, millennials, unmarried and college women, you name it, across the board. Biden's support among key Democrat voting constituencies is crashing. And the key here is that support is not necessarily defecting to the Republicans. It's defecting to Trump. Voters want Trump. They don't necessarily want a Republican, right? Why would they? Republicans never fail to disappoint. They don't want DeSantis. They want Trump. And that, of course, is because of Trump's hybridity, this unique hybridity that we talk often about on this channel. He's part incumbent, part insurgent. He has a proven presidential record, and he's new, right? He's the best of both worlds. Byron York of the Washington Examiner put it this way: Trump is surging precisely because he's got the simplest campaign pitch in the world. 1, things were great when I was president. 2, everything went to hell in a handbasket when bumbling Biden became president. 3, elect me and I'll make things great again. I mean, that's the whole campaign. When I was president, we had peace abroad, prosperity at home, right? Biden came in, and ever since, all we've seen is wars abroad and domestic depression. Vote for me and I'll restore peace and prosperity. And Byron York admits this simple message is resonating with many voters. And now we got the numbers that show that Trump across the board is either leading or outperforming in virtually every single traditional Democrat voter demographic. And again, it only gets worse for Biden. It only gets worse. And that's because of the growing fears out there over a looming recession. Polls consistently show that a majority of Americans believe we are already in a recession, and no incumbent has been successfully reelected ever in American history if a recession occurs within the last 2 years of their presidency. So we can actually expect Biden's poll numbers to continue to plunge. So Biden can tell us that we're looking at the wrong polls all he wants. In the end, the Biden regime is crashing, and it looks like we ain't seen nothing yet. As many of you know, we have unfortunately been completely and totally demonetized, which is putting our daily communication with one another at risk like never before. Now, we are actively working on getting this resolved, but as things stand, this channel has, without any warning, been totally and completely demonetized. And as Elon Musk said so powerfully last week, the whole point of these demonetization efforts is to deliberately try to make us patriots feel like we're all alone. They want to sever our relationship with each other and force on us a kind of digital solitary confinement so as to demoralize us and discourage us like never before. But to their horror, it's not working. Over this past week, you have carried this channel like never before. We've had more people than ever make the courageous decision to bypass big tech and join our Insiders Club. We have direct access to one another that can never be interrupted by big tech overlords. Over the last 7 days, we've seen literally thousands of you come to our rescue. And you've done it in 2 ways. You've signed up for our free newsletter and you've officially joined our Insiders Club. Those 2 acts alone are enough for us to collectively stand together and never, ever have our relationship severed. So I'm inviting the rest of you to do the same today, just by clicking on that link below and signing up for our newsletter and joining our Insiders Club. You are guaranteeing that there is nothing that big tech can do to get between us and make us feel like we're in a digital solitary confinement. It's as simple as clicking on the link below right now and opting into our free email newsletter. And once you do that, you can financially support us by joining our Insiders Club. Gang, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you enough for your support during a time like this. You are my heroes, and it will be my mission to express my appreciation for every single one of you each and every week.